Yeah.
There's a big professional mic.
Oh, great.
Okay, so for the time being, you can just stop your live screen sharing, so that you would be visible there in full screen.
No, you can carry on. You will not see what I'm doing. Don't worry.
Right. No, he's saying if the screen goes off, then people can see you when we started.
Yeah.
Okay. You had to rush now. I just came, so
Correct.
Yeah. Just click to stop the presentation. Stop share presentation.
stop share.
Yeah.
Done?
Okay. Yes, thank you, sir. So we'll start. Good evening, all, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Akshay. I'm the project director for Moneylife Foundation. Allow me to welcome you all for an important session today as we try to understand the legal aspects of cybersecurity. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, Moneylife Foundation is a 13-year-old nonprofit organization primarily engaged in spreading financial literacy and advocacy for savers. We also make efforts to spread consumer awareness on a variety of issues that are of interest to our members. In today's digital era, where our lives are intertwined with technology, the need to understand the legal aspects of digital security have never been more critical. It has become all the more important for journalists and activists who may frequently store sensitive information on their devices. In this session, we'll try to equip you with the knowledge and insights that you need to protect your data while also respecting the legal framework. Before proceeding any further, allow me to share some ground rules for today's session. We have kept all of you on mute for the benefit of all involved and will only unmute you during the Q&A session. For optimal viewing, we suggest that you keep the webinar on speaker view. During the Q&A session, please use the raise hands button available on Zoom if you wish to ask any questions. Please keep your questions short and to the point. Please feel free to use the chat section to share your comments, questions, and observations, but please do it directly in the public forum, marking everyone. Please do not send us a private message as we will not be able to monitor or reply while the session is live. Please also note that your cameras may be on by default and you could be broadcasting your background and homes for everyone to see. If you wish to maintain your privacy, please turn your camera off now. And now, without taking any more time, may I request our founder trustee, Sucheta Dalal, to please introduce and welcome our distinguished speaker for today, Advocate Prashant Mali.
Thanks, Akshay. Good evening, everybody. And let me start by welcoming Advocate Prashant Mali. He's had a terrifically busy day, and thank you for making it on time for this session. Advocate Prashant Mali is a luminary in the field of cyber and privacy law. He's going to guide us today through the intricacies of our digital rights and legal responsibilities. Now, as everyone knows, ever since the NewsClick episode happened, most of us who are activists and journalists realize that it can happen to anybody. All of us have sensitive names and contacts on our phones, on our computers, and they can be seized. What that taught us is that anybody could become a victim. It's not about whether you do investigative journalism or whether you attack anybody, you make enemies. You can just get caught in the crossfire. And this was really worrying because when it happened, I saw all kinds of messages on social media, people who are experts saying, you can refuse to give it, say no. And we know that real life is not like that when you're dealing with the authorities. And that's when I realized that we need to know not just the law, not just cybersecurity, but what happens practically in real life. And I could think of nobody better than Advocate Prashant Mali because he has seen it all and he's going to tell us what is absolutely practical and what is it that you can do and can't do. He's not only an accomplished lawyer, but he's an expert in cybersecurity. He holds a master's degree in both computer science and law. His academic journey culminated in a PhD in cyber warfare and international cyber law. He has regularly consulted government agencies on regulatory issues, including online gaming, integration of Indian languages into payment wallets and e-governance apps, and advocating the right to be forgotten as a part of the right to privacy. Advocate Mali also represents many Fortune 500 companies, celebrities, government agencies. He's a trusted advisor to a diverse range of clients. He's authored 6 books, many research papers. Some of his textbooks are textbooks in academic institutions. He's also keen on public service and always makes time to share his knowledge with people like us. We at Moneylife Foundation have been fortunate to have him as our esteemed speaker on several occasions at our seminars, and our audience loves the way he makes complex issues so easy to understand. We look forward to his guidance on navigating the landscape of digital security and legal compliance in a scary new world, especially for us who are into activism or journalism. Over to you, Advocate Mali.
Hi, thank you. Thank you, Suchita, for introducing me like this. And it's always a pleasure to address your audience. I think I'm audible better with this microphone. Yeah. Okay, good. So I'm going to make use of this presentation. Now, see, there are 2 happenings which have happened. One is the data protection law, which has come in. And I wish to talk at around for 50 to 55 minutes. And then I would like to take questions, because questions is the place where people want a lot of questions they want to ask from me. And so I decided, okay, I'll talk less, answer more questions as every time the experience is. So, but I'm going to take you through this specific things about how do you plan your security, and what is the law say, what are the case laws around this. So just to share my screen, I'll start with my presentation here. Is it visible now, everybody? Yeah, good. So to bring it to perspective that now that India has got a new Digital Personal Data Protection Act. What is personal data? Let's understand. First of all, I want to make you clear that this law and crime, there is no hand in hand, because this law has no criminal sections at all. So there is no jail term, no powers to police at all. So this is only civil law, where you will be fined for not following the law. Okay, and the money goes to the government coffers. Okay, so what is personal data here? Whatever identifies you. So just keep this in mind. I'm not going in detail in this digital personal data. If someone asks me some questions, I have a parallel presentation ready of digital personal data. I can switch off there and take those questions based on that. So after now I want you to understand what is threat modeling. But before that, I want this question which you actually started with, that with this this newspapers falling prey to a lot of data, asking journalists being asked a lot of data. So what does the law say about it? No, when you sharing password, what does the law had to say? See, till this case law which I'm mentioning, till it came, it was Article 23 was protecting you. People were actually not giving passwords, but police was taking passwords based on their own danda. Now what happens is, there is one Karnataka High Court's case law which has come. I'm going to show you that case law, the name of the case law also at the end. Here what he says is, this is very typical, and this is coming from a judge who was a practicing judge, suddenly elevated, not suddenly, obviously, elevated to the High Court. And he knew what is forensics, he knew what is technology per se, etc. Okay, so you really can't say that this guy, this honorable judge, by passing this statement, has erred in something. This needs to be read properly instead of criticizing this. Then I'll also come to another other news item which was running, which was a sessions court order where it says you need not give passwords. So this Karnataka High Court said, very qualifying case law this is. This says you actually can, furnishing password doesn't amount to right to privacy, violation of right to privacy. Here, and the information that is obtained, the concerned device can be used in the course of investigation as it falls within the exceptions which is carved out of Puttuswamy judgment, that is right to privacy. But he also said that investigating officer, the IO, the inspector, or the any police officer, he should handle only the information which is required for the matter. If he handles other information, like he tries to go through your photographs, he tries to go through your other personal communication about emails, WhatsApp chats, WhatsApp group where some crime has happened, it's okay. WhatsApp chat with a person in question whose name is appearing in FIR or witness or in incidental thing, they can go through it. But if he's going through something else, then the IO would be liable for misuse of any personal information or sharing of information with third parties. So this was very clear. So they can go through this. And one more thing which specifically was said in this is, it also doesn't amount to self-incrimination. How? When he went further and was trying to explain this, he said that evidence that is obtained from smartphone cannot ipso facto prove the guilt of the accused. Now what happens is, many of the times from the mobile phone, what is received is not incriminating him immediately in the evidence, because that is becoming the only whole sole primary evidence, then it amounts to self-incriminating. Please remember this also. So if it is like a chat which is your statement, it is third party kind of a statement which you are trying to say, then this can be amounting to self-incrimination, and that evidence can be negated by the courts, or a defense can argue on this. Now, if this evidence is on par with other evidence that has to be cumulatively relied on to decide the guilt of an accused, then if it is not ipso facto making it guilty, then it doesn't amount to self-incrimination. Now, this is the case law, which is Virendra Khanna versus State of Karnataka and others. So now this is the only case law which is right now existing of 2021 on giving passwords, on giving access to the laptop to police, on even mobile forensics, and even on what you call as laptop forensics. For this, you need to read this case law properly. A lot of things have been written in this. But what happens is, suddenly you see newspaper covering this very interesting news, saying that a Delhi court, now see, obviously journalists and media and newspaper will write it in a catchy way. It says a Delhi court. See, it is not saying a Delhi High Court. So it's a Delhi court had held that investigating agency, that is CBI, has no right to seek password of electronic device of an accused without his consent, as it will be violative of Article 23 and Section 161(2) of the CRPC. So, and I've given you the case law citing also, that is CBI versus Mahesh Kumar Sharma, etc. But this is not a case law. See, the moment you go to see what happens nowadays, when you face with some kind of challenge like this, you immediately rush to the internet to find some answers. And the moment you type this, whether giving password to police is compulsory or something, this is the first story which comes to you. And when this story pops you feel that this court has given us the right to actually say no, but it is not the case. This is a story, and this is from Sessions Court. Now, so this is not a case law. Case law is still your Virendra Khanna versus State of Karnataka. So what is another thing here? See, now in this case, only in the Sessions Court case, in the CBI case, there was one case law which was discussed. It was not a case law, but it was an Honorable Supreme Court's decision in Ajay Bhardwaj versus Union of India, it's a 2020 decision where the direction was given. Now, this is an interim direction. Direction was given to provide password. And this case was cited. It was direction was given to say to provide password, then password should be provided. But again, you should note here is the consent of the accused, whether the counsel of the accused had agreed for giving such password. So an order immediately could be passed and could be executed. There is no long-term distinguishable decision which has come into this this case law or this case which is held by Honorable Supreme Court. So if you ask me, then what is the status? Should we give it or shouldn't we? Should we not give? So this depends completely on how the case is going on. How much part is required you can give. The part which is not required, you can actually write a complaint against that police officer. Now, see, there is a problem here. Problem here is there is a section 72 under the IT Act 2000. Now, section 72 under IT Act 2000 is dealing with punishing government officers who mishandle the data. If you read it carefully, so it can even punish the police officers if they take your data and the data leaks out or the data gets sold. So 72 can be also invoked against these people, against the investigating officer. So this Virendra Khanna also gives you some kind of power over when the data is taken and data related to that matter is only not exploited. Further it gets exploited, it gets leaked. So 72 can give you lot much relief. Apart from that, under DPDP Act, the Data Protection Act, there could be some case laws in further which will come up because it only talks about digital data. And see, when you take WhatsApp data, seize WhatsApp data, that is actually a digital personal data. So if some data from your mobile phone or pen drive is taken, we could have certain remedies to complain it to the Data Protection Board. But yet now those things are not that clear. Okay, but that could gradually be clear on this. Apart from this, you can also move the High Court with a writ, specific writ under right to privacy given to us by Honorable Supreme Court in Justice Puttaswamy judgment to take certain directions under right to privacy, because right to privacy has emanated from right to life. So the High Courts, Honorable High Courts and Honorable Supreme Court both have powers to issue different writs, and writs to could be any writs which could be having some blocking of powers of the IO even. So even that can get invoked. So these were about, this was about specifically about your password related thing. Now, again, coming back to, what happens, how do you protect your cyber security, or how do you protect your privacy when you're in the this networking world? You have mobile phones, you have laptops, iPads, so many devices, wearable devices. You're wearing now Ray-Ban specs, which has cameras, which can record and whatnot, different types of devices which keep recording, and smart city around you, which keeps recording you all the time, so many parameters. Then the process of planning security strategies is commonly referred to threat modeling. So if we could actually plan your own security strategy, what is required for journalists, for activists, for even common man who feel that their data is at risk, or general netizens whose data is at risk. What is required is you need to do some threat modeling. Threat modeling is, I'm going to show you how it is done, what it is in a very simple, lucid way, strategic way, it can be done. I'm not going to talk much on the apps part, okay, because then it amounts to promoting some apps And I'm not in favor of that, but I'll mention some apps which can be seen, or mention certain website which you can really go and see, because there are a lot of websites talking specific things about specific security, and which are free also. So what factors does one take consideration while their house and possessions are safe? So we do a detailed analysis. How do we go about this? We say, what possessions are worth protecting, whether it are electronics, documents, passports. Then from whom are these possessions being protected? So who? Thief, guest, friends. To what extent do the possession requires protection, like likelihood of things being stolen, capability of adversaries. Adversaries are those cyber criminals, hackers, malware actors, risk to be considered, and what are the risks to them. So when we do this, we come to, once we consider these various factors, we also consider ensuring their house and possessions are safe. What do you do? What would the consequences of not taking appropriate safety measures? Can stolen possession be replaced? Can one afford to replace it? Does any insurance cover the loss of stolen possessions? Now, let me introduce here one word. It's called cyber insurance. Now, if you feel that your laptop, your computer, your mobile phones, your data has some value, and if you can attach a value to it from a valuator, then you can buy off-the-shelf cyber insurance policies. Now, these policies are also available for ransomware attacks, and these policies are available from all major insurance providers. Okay, it is there. The details are there on the IRDA website also. So it is always better to have this kind of thing, because this can lead to another instigating of another losses. So even that, because now mobile phone has become your office, and if you lose your office data or office equipment as such, you should get what is called as compensation. So this really can give you. So to what extent I'm willing to circumvent these consequences, like buy an expensive safe or security system, store valuable in the bank. So you do this analysis. So these will give you evaluate individual risk. What is the risk to you? आपको कितना risk है? तो उस हिसाब से आपको security measures लेनी है. So, and you have to also check कि likelihood कितना है. See, everybody carries mobile phone. Everybody is under risk of some or other attacks. Everybody has responsibilities, and the law is same for everybody. Okay, but it depends from person to person. How much is the risk? What are the adversaries, and what are the capabilities? So you have to take that in picture. So how do you do this? So this is an important takeaway which you for today is you develop your own personalized security plan. So what could be this? This is a process of developing a comprehensive security plan, which entails addressing the following question. Now, what are the questions? What am I protecting? So are you protecting data? Rather, everybody protects their own data. Now, data could be different thing. Now, data could be your personal data. Data could be your financial data. Data could be your data about data, and others obviously metadata, etc. So some data is in your hands, and some data is not in your hands. Whom am I protecting from? So are you protecting your data from government? Are you protecting your data from law? Are you protecting your data from friends? Are you protecting your data from your employer? Or are you protecting your data from whom? Exactly whom? Whether they are internal, external, what kind of people they are. So once you have to level this, okay, who am I protecting from? Then what are the consequences of failure? So suppose your data or your security is breached, your data is leaked. What are the consequences? Will you lose your connection to your mobile phone? Will you lose your all your social media accounts? Will you lose the data which is important to your financial data, because of which you could have further attack on yourself? What are the consequences? After losing this, will you have your brand value erosion, or you lose a data and regulators can come after you? Like you lose a data about the company, you have a balance sheet which is getting typed on your laptop, and the hackers steal it. So it is not only failure of you, it is failure of your company, then reporting to the SEBI, reporting to regulators, reporting to the law enforcement. All this needs to factor in. Next is the likelihood of needing protection. Do you really need protection? See, in India, what happens is everybody will download different types of apps. We are app hungry people. We are free Wi-Fi hungry people and app hungry people. Many people have apps in their mobile phones which they never use. But those apps are collecting data from you. You are not earning from them, but they are earning from you. So don't download those tools if you are a fool. Only downloading those tools will not make you intelligent. You'll still remain fool when it comes to digital security. So today, do an analysis, a holistic analysis of your apps on your mobile phone. Please note, please take this words of wisdom. Downloading app in this world of 4G, 5G just takes few seconds. Then why to keep the app in your mobile phone, which is data hungry, which is using your internet, which is getting a lot of data from your various sensors of your mobile phone, including your microphone, your camera, your other data, your health related data. Why to give the data away? So uninstall it whenever you require, install it and work on it. Okay, in daily once also, if you need to install, or twice you need to install, do it. That is much more secure. The extent to which I am willing to take proactive measures to avoid any potential repercussions. So you should know your length and breadth, where you want to go for your personal security. Now I'm going to tell you about a little bit about personal security, how to go about things. Like, number one, see, everybody is using WhatsApp for communication now. WhatsApp has become the primary mode of communication. Why do we trust WhatsApp? We trust WhatsApp because it claims that it has end-to-end encryption. The problem is not on the end. The problem is before the end starts. The problem is even phones, Apple phones, have advanced artificial algorithms which scan the data before it is put on the personal communication apps like WhatsApp. So what is being scanned before being put on the app for transmitting? Please note this point very carefully. What is there on the network is encrypted. What is there on your phone is not encrypted. What reaches to the other end is not encrypted. So if your phone is compromised, if the other phone is compromised, your data is going to get leaked. So when a government agency wants to tap into your data, I have two loopholes. Loophole one here, loophole two there. Now, even WhatsApp shares data with Government of India or government agencies. Based on that intermediary rules of 2023, lot of data sharing happens. So which app is safe as of date? See, some apps, I don't want to take the name of app called Signal, which people say it is still safe. But I have heard incidences, even Signal had shared data. But there are many apps which don't use standard encryption. I repeat, I'll give you tips. You research, you'll get to know what are these apps. These apps don't use standard encryption. They use some different encryption. So when you use this kind of apps, the apps which don't have server to store your data. So if the data is not stored, it will not be shared to anybody. These two types of apps, if you're using, then your data will not get leaked. Okay. But please remember, see that your mobile is not compromised. So now if your mobile is compromised, a lot of things will happen. So how do you keep hygiene of your mobile phones? See, if you are tremendously important person or doing a lot of communications which are really secret, then it is a good habit of changing your phone every year. If it is more sensitive, change it every month. If it is okay, now this is one step. Second is, if you have a sensitive business, then what you can do is you can factory reset phone every month with having only data backed up. Don't back up apps. I repeat, only backup data and then factory reset your phone every month. Okay, depending on sensitivity. Whenever you feel fearful that my phone is getting hacked, my phone is getting hot, my data is getting used more. Okay, these time, if you can't factory reset your phone, remove all the apps at least. Then always the internet connection don't use in real time. On, off, you use it. Then what happens? I'll tell you what happens, why I'm saying this. See, the app which is spying on you, if you keep the internet off, it starts gathering data what you're doing. See, remember this very carefully. It is gathering data even if the internet is off. The guy who is accessing your mobile phone, he is not getting the data. But the phone in the app's reservoir, it is getting the data. It's okay. The moment you on the internet for some seconds, it is highly impossible that the amount of data which is gathered can be uploaded. But it is highly possible that your WhatsApp messages and your email is getting downloaded because you don't have huge data. Okay. Then you have a half an hour, 1 hour break. Again, the app gathers huge amount of data. So if you keep the window of internet less, on internet, data from your will, and one fine day what happens, the data in that becomes very big. And once it became big, impossibility of uploading is always there. Okay, so such kind of methods can be used to circumvent any kind of bugging of your phones. Bugging of your phones is possible, 100% it is possible. There are companies who specialize in this. There are vulnerabilities of your Android and mobile operating systems which are available in dark web, in open market. There are companies which sell vulnerabilities or zero-day exploits. It is called zero-day exploit because there is no solution there till people find the solution. These are sold in dark web. These are sold to law enforcement agencies, and law enforcement agencies buy these exploits with their cash wala budget. Okay, because obviously it is not billed, so they have a different budget which is in cash. They get this, okay, and they use this. So will you be 100% secure? Always, never. You should have your personalized plan only strategically, which will protect you. So this slide which I'm giving you, if you have these questions in your mind, you'll slowly, this is not difficult. You have to develop a culture, a discipline in your body to use such kind of phones, such kind of IT infrastructure. You will remain secure. And don't keep changing too much amount of phones, models. So, you don't know how it behaves, what are the operating systems, what are the buttons which are default on or which are default off. So you should, so you will never know. So, wo karo. Phones, obviously, now if you look in the privacy industry, they called it de-googled phones. Now, what are de-googled phones? Google doesn't have any say over it. There are operating systems which you can install over Google, but if you're not technical persons, you really can't use those operating systems, which are de-googled. Google can't do anything on it. So those operating systems are really going too far, because then you'll not enjoy the experience of the phone also. So I'm not suggesting you that, but then you'll see a lot of on different websites. So coming to the next year. So if you examine this questions closely, like what am I protecting? In digital security, assets refer to valuable information such as emails, contacts, instant messages, location, files, as well as devices themselves. Devices entry is also important. And what happens, I'll tell you how people get into your network. I'm just giving you a ballpoint access psychology. Kaise karte hai un log? So what happens is we keep one device starts talking to another device. How is it possible? Like sometimes you make your Samsung phone as remote control for your Samsung TV. So what happens? Now the TV knows that there is a Samsung phone, okay, with model number, and the mobile knows that there is a Samsung TV with model number and with operating system updates. Itna tak pata hai usko, because it knows the how much patching has been done. Operating system ka version number pata hai. He knows the mobile has the track of version number. So likewise, when multiple devices know about multiple devices, these data can be accessed by the hackers, and this device can be infiltrated. And from this device, they can come to your laptop, they can come to your mobile phones, they can come to your network. Okay, so all this, so it is important to create a detailed list of these assets. So first thing, what you're going to do today is go back home. First of all, take one white paper and start writing down how many devices are there in your home. Number one. Number two, on the right hand side, also write out of these devices, how many devices you are accessing your banks from. You will ask me, do I access my banking from my television also? Many people do that. When you subscribe to certain OTT channels, when you subscribe to certain or you open Amazon on your screen or smart TV, you are actually creating certain logs here and there. So write down the amount of IT assets. B number could be the amount of storage devices you have in your house. Pen drives, SSD hard disk, whatever you have, old पुराना जमाने का CD drive जितना है एक ही बार लिख के निकालो. Do an asset valuation, asset numbering, asset listing in your house. Once एक बार आपको करना जरूरी है. एक register बना के आप ही के पास रखो. Don't you can give them some naming or whatever you want. Okay. Anything which connects to internet, please note this very important point. Anything which connects to internet becomes your asset, which we need to protect or which we need to take into account. So अपने घर में जितना भी है, मम्मी का, पापा का, बच्चों का, दादी का, नौकरों का, because if तुम्हारे अगर नौकर हैं, if your servants are coming to your house and connecting to your Wi-Fi, whether you know or whether you don't know, that you have to check. कई बार अपने को पता ही नहीं होता, इन लोग आके अपने इंटरनेट पे सर्व करते रहते हैं. Okay, so all this you need to jot down. How many people come on your network? तुम्हारा नेटवर्क का डिटेल्स क्या, किससे ले रहे हो नेटवर्क? People don't know कहाँ से नेटवर्क आ रहा है हमारा कई बार. Okay, और वो नेटवर्क का पासवर्ड वगैरह कभी बंद हुआ है वगैरह वगैरह. Okay, so one is this. Two is whom am I protecting it from? It's crucial to identify potential adversaries, who pose a threat to your assets, such as bosses, different bosses, partners, competitors, hackers, or government agencies. In order to protect your data information, what you need, prepare an exhaustive list of these individuals. आपको किससे खतरा हो सकता है, ये आपको लिस्ट बनानी पड़ेगी. Because इससे फायदा क्या होगा मैं बताता हूं आपको. नेक्स्ट अगली बार कभी आपका मोबाइल हैक हो गया ऐसा आपको लगा, तो इन लिस्ट में से जो लोग हैं इनसे आप मिले थे क्या, इन्होंने आपको कोई लिंक भेजा था क्या एसएमएस में, आपके व्हाट्सएप पे कोई लिंक भेजा था क्या, या कोई वीडियो भेजा था जिसको आपने खोल के देखा है क्या, आपने इनके साथ जो आपको जिनसे खतरा है, फ्रॉम वेयर यू नो whom you feel as an adversaries, क्या आपके उनके साथ में व्हाट्सएप कॉल हुआ था या व्हाट्सएप मिस कॉल हुआ था. ऐसी जो चीजें है वो आप सिर्फ you can backtrack with these guys and then actually find out the culprit ki this could be an adversary, and then you can take remedial actions. But if you don't have this list, you really don't know, you just feel that everybody is good around me, and you feel that somebody else, some outside cyber criminal has attacked on me, and that's my problem. So to have a solution, this all is required. So in order to protect your data information, you do this exhaustive list of individuals, entities that might target your data. Next is, what are the consequences of failure? So if the failure is there, adversaries can gain access to private data by reading what communications, what is happening between it. They can delete the data also. So deleting some data also amounts to giving you issues related to your data, or they can corrupt your data. Their motive can vary, from deleting or reducing the availability of the content, or to access the secret content and publishing it without your permission. So they, I'll tell you an example. I have many clients, including big financial companies. Recently, a couple of big financial companies had come to me by, what had happened? Somebody had published their clients' data on Twitter, and the adversary, the hacker, was saying, this is a sample data, and if you don't pay up, then I'm going to release more data because I have a lot of data. So what is the standard defense these companies take right now in India? Because the DPDP Act was not there, they used to say this data has no meaning, this data is an old data. Then they come out with the right data, because we don't have that much awareness, we don't have that much knowledge, or we don't take these things seriously, data is getting leaked left and right. So secret content getting published without permission is also one threat. So it also, they can publish your browser records. Browser records have so much amount of data, and see, there could be a confusion in browser records. If one phone or one browser is used by 3-4 people, typically what happens is you have a family iPad, and in family iPad people surf left and right, lot of things, and that can get mapped to the ID, the Google ID, or the mobile phone, if it is a 4G card, to one person. So and based on that, Google makes your profile, and your profile can get created. So these can get leaked. So it is important to consider what an adversary might want to do with your private data. So once you know all this, making scenarios become simple. So what is the likelihood of needing protection? Everybody does not need a protection. Everybody does not need a protection for the data what they have, because you don't consider that data to be private. See, common man's private data kya hota hai? His financial details. Second is his surfing details. What is his browsing history? ये उसका sensitive data हो सकता है. फिर obviously his sexual orientation वो हो सकता है, and or his chat with his intimate partners वो हो सकता है. If these all gets leaked, people really get pissed off, and they want to go back against them. Or there are defamation which a person does to another person, some photos in bikini, etc., nude photos, half nude photos. Then common man will likely to go against this. But people who are working for government, people who are activists, people who are journalists, they have a different type of data which is important. They also want to keep their source as secret, so they don't want to leak the source name. chat with the source, files shared with the source. And many times, these are bordering kind of chats or bordering kinds of files. So you really don't want to risk this. So risk is the chance of a specific threat against and occurring. It is important to distinguish between what happened and what might happen and the probability of it happening. So the process of accessing risk is subjective, and personal. So same risk would not be for same people and different people all the time. And in some cases, the cost of threat is unacceptable to the individual, no matter the likelihood. Oh, so I want to give an example of the same cyber insurance. Cyber insurance is a control for ransomware. Cyber insurance is a control for various cyber crimes. But if the premium of cyber crime outweighs the benefit, then cyber insurance doesn't become successful. And today, precisely in Indian context, premium of cyber insurance has become costlier than the likelihood of the cyber attack or likelihood of the cyber crime committed on you, or the likelihood of a data leak which can happen with you. Okay, or a security breach can happen with you. So in these cases, the cost of threat is unacceptable to the individual, no matter the likelihood. While in other cases, high risk are ignored as individuals do not view it as a problem. See, India may, as I speak, today also people don't take few cyber risks very seriously. In fact, we have an undaunting trust towards whatever is online. Our greed is well known across cyber criminals so much that on Shopify, various websites have been made, and these websites gather money, they gather data out of you, and products are not given. So cheating is happening in broad daylight. So, Dakati, which used to happen in the nights, it is happening in broad daylight, under the nose of government, under the nose of police, and that this Dakati is in crores of rupees. People rake money, close the website, open different website. They take the money from you, take the data from you, because they take your credit card details, etc. They are not, PCI DSS certified people. They are not, attached to any kind of financial regulators. They just take data, they just take your money and vanish. And they make another website which is highly similar, with just change of colors, with change of domain, and they again start looting you. So these are gangs which are looting. So there are risks associated with different financial transactions, and you need to have different protection. And here protection is little different. Here protection is awareness. Here protection is wisdom. So if you wait and then you invest your time and you invest your energies in such kind of websites, you're likely to digital security is more. So you determine and differentiate the threats to be taken seriously, and those that too are rare or harmless to worry about, this can be prioritized. The extent to which I am willing to take proactive measure to avoid any potential repercussions. Now, since the concerns and circumstances differ from case to case, creating a security plan is not a one-size-fit-all concept. Security plan needs to be different to different people. Your rights and duties will remain same, but the security plan will differ. Now, risk assessments can aid in balancing the convenience, cost, and privacy to the plan, the right strategy for your needs and priorities. You can identify options that are available to you while considering financial, technical, and social constraints. Not all options. See, as I was constantly telling you, one antivirus, one cyber insurance, one communication software like WhatsApp, Signal, one operating system, mobile operating system. These, I can't tell you that you can only buy this and you get secure. It is such a big maze that today the security threat comes from, I'll give you an example, a real life example. Now, one of my client was getting harassed with a mail coming from a bank, which he was knowing that he is knowing this bank. So he used to just delete it instead of putting it in spam, marking it as spam. He used to delete it. Why? Because he used to get official mails also from that bank. He never bothered to see what is the email address from this bank was getting impersonated. But one day, after seeing so many mails coming from the bank, he opened the email, some discount scheme was written, and he was so pissed off, he went straight below and he clicked unsubscribe. You know what happened? The moment he clicked unsubscribe, he was taken to the moment he clicked unsubscribe, he was taken to a phishing website of the bank, and his login, password, etc. was asked, which he entered, and he was duped. So now, so even getting bothered to click on unsubscribe is bad. So how do you do it? You mark those mails on the left hand side on the boxes and shift it to the junk. So rest the AI will do. If you do it for 2-3 times, shift it to the junk, it will mark it as spam by its own. That you're not interested in reading, next time it may not show. But that you may have to do it again the next time. So be aware. Second thing is, when you see certain emails in your email boxes, before clicking a link in that email, you need to click on the email address and see whether this email is from a genuine domain name. Like suppose I'm giving example, if it is SBI Bank, then whether it is from sbibank.co.in or sbibank.com, whatever is the site being used. If it is from somebody else, then just delete it or mark it as spam and leave it. So this little intelligence we need to do. I know you must be having anti-spam softwares. You would be having anti-spam apps. You would have done different mechanism. Yet we get these mails. Hence, your personal intelligence, your personal awareness is required. If you don't do this, then your risk still remains. So it is crucial to consistently reevaluate the security plan whenever there are alterations in circumstances of situations. Now, what are circumstances and situations? You change your laptop, you change your mobile phone, you migrate from Android to Apple or Apple to Android, you change your Wi-Fi provider, Wi-Fi service provider or internet service provider or whatever your data connection. When you do this, so it change in internet service provider, change in the device from where you're accessing your banking, etc. Change in your handheld devices like mobile phone, etc. Change in the OS, change in bringing in any device in the network. So you have a home network, and when you bring a new device which is connecting on the network, now it could be even your what do you call servant's mobile phone, or it could be any artificial intelligence or ML based device, or any device or smart device which you're trying to bring into the network. That means there is an alteration in circumstances and situation. Your security plan, personal security plan in your personal security zone has to be reworked. So now, this is, I want a few takeaways apart from this, and then I'll open this for question answers. Now, what all remedies you have under law if your security gets breached? Number one, the IT Act 2000, the Information Technology Act 2000 has a section called Section 43A read with Section 66. It talks about unauthorized access to your mobile phone, to your laptop, to your any electronic or communication device. So when you have an unauthorized access, the punishment is up to 3 years of imprisonment and 5 lakhs up to 5 lakhs of penalty. So if an unauthorized access happens, it's a cognizable offense. You can file a case on that person. So what all can be done if a data leak happens, if a data is stolen, then Section 43B read with Section 66, you can file a criminal case with the police. Section 43B read with Section 66. If somebody has implanted malware into your computer, somebody has implanted a malware or a virus or computer contamination, so a program which is contaminating your computer or mobile phone, then still you can go to the police and file a case under Section 43C read with Section 66 of the IT Act 2000. 43C is for spreading of computer contamination. Contamination amounts to ransomware, amounts to malicious software, viruses, worms, trojans, different types of TSR logics in your computers or mobile phones. So these, either you can do it directly go, you can also take help of cybercrime.gov.in. I repeat, you can also take help of cybercrime.gov.in and file your online complaint. Please note this, on cybercrime.gov.in, apart from crime on women and children, all other crime, when you are reporting, your mobile number is taken and OTP is sent. So you cannot do an anonymous complaint. I'm specifically saying this because there are a lot of cases I'm handling which are of pornography blackmailing, sending porn, making videos, blackmailing them. So there's a lot of things. It's a trap in India now. This is the biggest crime which is happening right now in India. In this, many people try to file a complaint anonymously on cybercrime.gov.in. It is not going to work. It can boomerang on you. So, and other number which you should always remember, note down, any banking problem happens, 1930. I repeat, 1930 is the number of MHA. It is for any time when your money is lost or you feel that money is lost, calling them, giving them your phone, mobile phone, bank details, etc. It will freeze the target bank account and your money can remain freezed instead of being lost, and then it can be recovered back. It is perfectly working. I don't know the status here in Mumbai, Maharashtra. It is going on, not that much as other states, but yes, we are going towards it. So 1930 is one phone number which you should always save it in your mobile phone. And it is not only useful to you, but you should share it with a person in distress when his money is lost, when he is defrauded, etc. 1930, cybercrime.gov.in. These are the two things which you should use it frequently. Apart from them, I told you, going to police, filing this. See, there is no concept of sending email to police unless they tell you to send email. Many people come to me saying that I have sent email to cybercrime police. We have yet not reached that maturity that we send an email and police is going to act on us. Okay, those golden days are yet to come. One day it has to come, but those golden days are yet to come. But you can always file it on cybercrime.gov.in. So these are your things. Apart from this, I also want to tell you about duties when it comes to DPDP Act, that is the Digital Data Personal Protection Act. You also have a duty to give proper data to data processing, data fiduciaries. What does that mean? That means if you give wrong Aadhaar number, you give wrong PAN number, you give wrong age, wrong name, wrong spelling, etc., you also can be fined for rupees 10,000. 10,000 is the proposed fine which a data protection board can levy on you. So that is the duty on you. So one is, if your data is leaked or your data is misrepresented, you can actually file a case on this data fiduciary, the person who is collecting the data. You can file a case on them with the data protection board, and the penalties are up to 250 crores. But you are not going to get 1 single rupee out of it. That goes to the government coffers. But if you do wrong, you give wrong data wrongly to this data fiduciaries, then you may be fined rupees 10,000 rupees, and that can be taken from you. So be aware when handling data, giving data to government, to this data fiduciaries, etc. So I have still 20-25 minutes left, and I want to take questions from you, and I'll let the questions be in the small format. Any questions are entertainable.
Okay, thank you so much, Advocate Mali. I think some of the questions can even be put in chat so that it's faster. But before we go to questions, can I request you to tell us a little more about what is it that we can do if, say, the police come and seize your data, want your mobiles, want your laptop. For people like us, we are sort of incapacitated if that happens. You can't function. So what kind of backups can we keep, and what are our rights? Can you even refuse to give the password? Can you say you won't? What happens to the backups? Can you demand that something is backed up? I think you have some real life experiences and may be able to tell us.
Yeah. So, see, when the police comes to you, and first of all, when they want to confiscate your laptops, your mobile phones, do they have power to confiscate? If the FIR is registered, first of all, you have to see whether the FIR is registered. When the FIR is registered, they have power for confiscation under the IT Act. Okay, that's clear section there mentioned. Now, the second question is, can you deny if they suspect that this laptop is a part of the crime, then denial becomes difficult. How do you protect it? Now, I'll give you an example where they confiscate 6 phones from your home, but they credit only 2 phones in the charge sheet. Okay, so they even do this. So, baki 4 phones have gone. So, there is a receipt of the Panchanama which they do, Panchanama for confiscation. So, you have to get that receipt from them. Very cautious. Because you can get all these devices back from the court by applying for return of property once the investigation is done, and you get all these devices back. They don't keep it lifelong with them. So for return of property, you need to have that Panchnama, you need to have that receipt of the device with exact model number, IMEI number, etc. If it is not there, court is not going to give you back. And they are not likely to show it in your charge sheet also. They'll take it, and then you know what happens to it. Okay. So if there is no two, that is our right, to get that receipt with us. See, you can only deny when you feel that device does not belong to you. That device has nothing to do with the crime or the investigation in question. I repeat, if it is not belonging to you and it is not related to the investigation or the crime in question, you can deny in these two respective things. But I also want to tell you the other part. If they want to come after you and you apply for ABA or bail, the first thing they will say is, they didn't give me the laptop, hence custody is required. Okay, so this catch should always remember. So these devices. So what is this? What is the loophole? Don't keep those devices when such kind of raids are happening. because they not using their upper floors, they try to take away everything. Okay. So if it is not there before their eyes, not likely to get confiscated. Later, if they want it, then it will be with specific request. But on the raid day, they can take a lot of devices. And majority of the time, they don't understand that this hampers your work. So what to do if they take it away? You can immediately talk to their superiors. Specifically in Mumbai, city of Mumbai, you can talk to a DCP and say that this is affecting your right to work, right to life, anything of that sort. Sometimes you may get help, sometimes you will not. Okay, if it gets confiscated on, because if it is confiscated on paper, then you have to take it from the court. Police is not going to give you back. Backups. Now coming to backups. See, having backup of your laptops, even your mobile phones, on the server. Which servers? It could be Google Drive, it could be Dropbox, it could be your iCloud, is always advisable. When those backups are protected, when those backups are what you call it as encrypted. Don't keep backup unencrypted. If you keep your backup as a simple file copy, then you are not safe. In fact, others can take away your data. It could be hacked. So be aware, take backups on this publicly available things, but be very careful that they should be encrypted. Now, if your data is on your laptop is important, then you should have encrypted hard disk. If you keep your data encrypted on your hard disk, if they take away your hard disk, see, sometimes what happens is they don't ask your passwords. They take away your device. Now what happens, if when they want to ask your password, they'll call you to the police station. And when for calling to the police station, they have to give you a notice under CRPC. So when a notice under CRPC comes, the operation which is done of taking away your laptop, etc., it becomes very legal. And then you can reveal the encryption, and then the investigation which is happening will happen in the four corners of the law. So if it is encrypted hard disk, breaking that encryption is not their cup of tea. Okay, anybody's cup of tea for that matter. Okay, that's why the encryption is given. So encrypting the hard disk is very important. Encrypting nowadays you also have data in the micro SD card. Encrypting the micro SD card is important. Encryption of your SSD hard disk is important. See, I told you that you need to do inventory. See, I keep telling this, people don't like when I say कि आप बाबू जैसे inventory बनाओ. मतलब क्या? कि you make inventory of all the devices in your house. बनाते नहीं है. See, all गंदा पुराना hard disk should be जला दो दिवाली में. Not required. जो ओरिजिनल आपके पास अभी है ताजा, उसका इन्वेंटरी बना के रखो, एंड दैट इन्वेंटरी विल हेल्प यू टू नो कि किधर क्या डेटा था, किधर क्या डेटा रखना है, और कितना इंक्रिप्टेड है, कौन सा इंक्रिप्टेड नहीं है. आई हैव क्लाइंट्स, उन्होंने इंक्रिप्ट किया, सब अच्छा किया, खुद ही पासवर्ड भूल गए. ओके, सो यू टेक अ बैकअप इन एनक्रिप्टेड and you forget your password is also not done. So it is not only that you put a door to your belongings and put a lock to it, that is encryption, but you should also remember the key. If you don't remember the key, that khajana will remain always inside, useless. Okay, so that precaution also needs to be taken. So I told you about how to, so getting it back is always from the return of property, or talk to the DCP under, you can tell him that this is my Rozi Roti wala laptop, hard disk, etc., etc. And if it is not coming in your charge sheet or FIR, then this can be left alone. But sometimes they honor, sometimes they don't honor. Courts can honor. Courts can actually, when you go back to them with in the right to property, एक ही application move कर सकते हैं हम लोग, that is right to return of property, and from there you can get those things. Any more questions?
Akshay, over to you. You're going to have.
Yeah, there's a question in chat. Somebody is asking, can you explain the status of zero-click Pegasus case where they have accessed the computer phone under Section 43?
I didn't get you. Which case?
Pegasus.
Pegasus has become an old case now. It was lot many things have been talked on Pegasus. Yeah. And what do you want exactly out of from Pegasus? Pegasus is a software which was accessing the data unauthorizedly. Pegasus is a software which was violating Section 43A, read with Section 66. What went wrong in Pegasus? Let me tell you, as a lawyer, people who felt that their phones were bugged, or people felt that the phones were compromised, never went to police and filed a case under Section 43A, read with 66. And let me give you my primary experience. I personally, when this report was came out, I was on NDTV. There was some journalist whose actually phone got compromised. On the live TV show, I was telling him, go under 43A, read with 66, file an FIR. Baad mein to, justice starts when FIR is filed. Only shouting around and making it as a value is okay. That is policy decision, political decision. But primary getting justice is also was important. Later somebody had filed, but even Supreme Court asked, why didn't you file an FIR? You coming to directly to Supreme Court, because this is a criminal thing. Accessing anybody's computer, anybody's mobile phone is a criminal thing. Criminal law under Section 43A, read with Section 66. Pehla file to karo, and then do all kinds of fighting. Okay, and this could have been filed because this is a big thing. So it is under review. See, what has happened in Pegasus is they're constantly bringing in a forensics report, which is of a third party, a company not from the country, not appointed by the court. See, this is another mistake which they did. They didn't ask the permission, or they didn't ask the direction from the court to appoint a forensic team or a forensic agency. Court appointed forensic agency was not there. So now when you bring in a third party forensic, it will always be questioned by people who are fighting for defense. Because when you look at the Indian law, our forensics are not done by private forensic people. Our forensic in criminal law is still done by the state-run forensic labs. Our law needs to get modified. When we have a new law, possibly we have a new forensics related things. But as of we go, I'm giving you law points. Okay, I have personal points are different. Pegasus shouldn't be done. It is pure snooping. It is pure violating many rights under Constitution to you and me as a general citizen. But I'm talking from the point of law. Yeah. Any other question?
Yes, there's a question from Mr. Nishit Kumar. He's saying, I have a friend who found her husband in a flat with a female office colleague. And after that, she installed a software on her husband's phone, unknown to him. She now accesses all his WhatsApp, email, etc. She's doing this to protect her marriage. So is her action illegal?
100% illegal. You are snooping to a person's everything, I'll tell you a case. मैं तुमको एक case बताता हूँ, what has happened, यही case, somebody came to me with such same thing. The wife was doing the same thing. So once the husband and the lover were in the bedroom, they are sitting next to each other. उनके बाजू में उनकी बेटी थी, their own daughter. Okay, they are half clothed, scanty clothes, not naked. And their daughter was besides there, generally chatting. Now what happens? Now a minor has come into it. Even though it was a daughter, but a minor has come into picture. You understand, when a minor comes into picture and another acts get recorded or some other act get recorded, even POCSO can get applied to you. So it becomes very risky. There is no law which says for protecting your marriage. How are you protecting your marriage when you know that this thing is happening? So you can take this and put it before the family court. Family court may take it into account. Your marriage will get broken, but the husband can always take this and go to the the cybercrime police station saying that my nude photo was captured. Husband is yours, but the girl, the other lady is not yours. She can go. She has a right that you took her nude pictures without her permission and then propagated it, transmitted it, showed to somebody else, showed to the lawyer, showed to the family people, etc., etc. And this can be prosecuted under section 67 and 67A of the IT Act. These are non-bailable offences.
Okay. There are two questions which are interrelated. One is that can I refuse a password if the police comes without having my name in the FIR? I think in the NewsClick case, there was no FIR. They didn't even show it to them, but they took away everything from 43 odd journalists, even past employees. So this is an important question. And the second is that when the device is taken, I mean, would it be imaged, hashed, whatever? Will they write anything down? Again, as far as I know, the police don't do anything. They just take it and go. So in your practical experience, and this is what I think most of us are interested in, practically, can you do anything? As Devashish told me that you can say, no, they may give you 2 thappads and, you quietly hand it over. It still happens in India. We are not like the rest of the world. So would you tell us a little more about this?
Yeah. So, when police comes without FIR, they are more stronger because they have got somebody's ultimate Ashirwad on their head and they are coming. So they're more stronger. Always remember this. And when they come and they want to strengthen, if you are more stronger than the police at that time, with all your astra you have, then with all your mind, you can resist. You can shoot the whole thing and you can keep it and you can bring in, they can lose their job and the FIR. And, things can really go wild out of it. Without FIR, technically, even that CRPC notice cannot be sent. CRPC gets activated of, invitation for all this post FIR. But in India, it has been culture. Without an FIR, they send you an invitation for investigation, etc. If you really can challenge that, it cannot be done. If you can really challenge, if there was no FIR and under disguise of only investigation, these things were taken, it can go that they can appeal to the higher up courts of police atrocity, police doing this, that, taking away the data. You can file cases of data stealing, can file cases of stealing of resources on them, and case can be taken up. I don't know the actual ingredient apart from what is reported in the media as such. But can you deny them password? Yes, you can deny. See, they are not going to shoot you at the denial. If you can refuse that I'm not going to give you password, done. Or simple thing is always I forgot. It's very simple, no? Why you want to own that? I don't know the password. I forgot. But yes, then you have to see that you are strong enough to take those things also, if they take you away. So let it be. See, you can, in the court, they say, if when the bail argument is there, you can say, I can give the password in envelope to the court. I'll hand it over to the court. So this can be done. You can hand it over to the court in the courts. Yeah. And then courts can actually tell them that nothing should be, because the court is interfering, what it is and what not. Next point is about hashing. Hashing is, when the hard disk is confiscated from you, a hash value is been taken and kept, and then the hard disk is sent a clone copy. What should be done actually? A hard disk is taken, a hash value is taken, then make a clone of the hard disk, take the hash value of the clone, both the clones should be matching. Original hard disk they'll preserve. On the clone hard disk, they can make two clones. One they can keep in the police station and they can do their investigation. Second, they can send it to the forensic lab with the set of questionnaire, which they can come back as a forensic report. Okay, this original has to be preserved. And when, if this hash value, if you can get, okay, under RTI, if the hash value you can get under the RTI, and when the hard disk is being formed as a part of the charge sheet in the courts, you ask for the clone of the hard disk. Now, hard disk is a document as per the act. जैसे तुमको चार्जशीट का कॉपी मिलता है फोटोकॉपी, वैसे हार्ड डिस्क का कॉपी भी तुमको पुलिस ने देना चाहिए, लॉ है. Okay, so what happened, how you can help the police is you can give them a hard disk, empty hard disk, बोलो अभी दे दो हमको, so they'll allow, you can clone the hard disk and then give, but technically they have to give the hard disk. Okay, तो RTI में जो आपको hash मिला था, and now the hard disk which you get it from the court, because this hard disk you want to get from the court, both should match. If it doesn't match, then what you said, there is a point there. Any point? Okay, but is it done in our Indian courts? Hashing करता है पुलिस, हमारा कोर्ट्स खुद उसको हैशिंग को देखता नहीं है, हैशिंग और वो मैच होता है क्या? Only police in India, our courts rely on the forensic report. Forensic में the forensic guy says yes, this hash was given. When it was received, we again did a hashing on it, and the hash matched. How, whether it matched, how it was matching, uska report kuch nahi rehta hai. If the forensic report says hash is matching, court is accepting hash is matching, technically court should have an hashing algorithm wala machine जो हार्ड डिस्क को लेके हैश निकाले उसका and then document कि इसका hash match हुआ. That doesn't happen. It is as good as saying that court accepts photocopies of Aadhaar cards as proof of identification. Fingerprints लेना चाहिए ना कोर्ट ने भी to match the Aadhaar card with the actual Aadhaar card. Does this Aadhaar card is actual Aadhaar card of the person? That doesn't happen. Okay, so we have less infrastructure to digitally authenticate all this. So when we have all this, I think the justice will be more better served.
We'll take a last question.
Yes.
Someone has asked, can they take a complaint and then as part of an inquiry, take the device and then file an FIR? Can the devices be taken away in such case?
Sorry. Today my
okay, I'll repeat. Can they take a complaint and then as part of the inquiry, take the device and then file a FIR later?
If you are a complainant, then yes, they can do this. If you are a complainant and you say that there is a issue with some theft or mobile phone mein something, they can do first, take your mobile phone, do some preliminary investigation, and then when they feel there is a prima facie evidence, then only they file an FIR. FIR is never filed on what you say. FIR is always filed in what police believes to be a crime, not you believing a crime. Sometimes even rape doesn't fall under crime for them. They have to know it is crime. They have to accept it is murder.
I will just ask one small question. Nowadays, what happens is, especially on the railway trains, many people are having the smartphones, and when they reach Mumbai, so there I see many police just check their mobile and they say that you have this material on your mobile, this pornography clip is there, so you pay the fine. So is it allowed?
100% not allowed. How can they check? See what happens. How do they fall in trap? Watching pornography in public places is a crime. Now what happens is, if you have porn on your mobile phone and police checks your mobile phones, it is very difficult to convince them that you are not watching pornography on the railway station. Because the moment you watch pornography, or if you have porn on your, or naked picture on your mobile phone, how do you convince them that I was not watching here? If you can convince them, then that is not a crime. Because watching porn, watching nude pictures in the closet of your house is not a crime. What they are doing is completely illegal. There are many a times actions were taken on RPF, many a times action was taken on GRP, many a times action was taken on various police in various stations and various states. But this is a money minting way. So this is one more money minting. They're doing it.
Yes, it's happening quite regularly, especially
Yeah.
at Kalyan.
Acha. So what you can do is possibly reporting to the higher ups. If it is a GRP, Government Railway Police, then talking to the commissioner here where he sits at Lions Gate, I suppose, putting up a letter, etc., taking it up can help. But again, after some days, they come back to their own.
Yeah, it's
India
a
is a
cycle.
difficult. India is a difficult country when they find a loophole in the law.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Advocate Mali, for taking the time and explaining the topic in such a simple manner. I think we have all enjoyed the session. Would you like to share any closing thoughts before we end the session today?
See, cybersecurity is not app oriented. It is not a software solution oriented. Security is always a myth if you go in the real sense of it. In India, it's specifically a myth. How you can protect yourself is always going around in a non-traditional way, protecting your own self. I would not encourage you to not use mobile phones or not use laptops, etc., because that's making your life easy. Use only that much which is needed. Don't overuse. Don't overshare. Be cyber safe. Thank you very much for calling me here. Thank you, Suchita. And thank you, Moneylife Foundation. You are doing a great work by doing this cyber awareness, because this awareness also stops many cyber attacks. This awareness creates cyber security culture in the society, and society becomes cyber resilient. And we need to make cyber resilient. You are doing this great job of making society cyber resilient society. God bless. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.